Well, let's talk about the game. It ended Grimsby Town nil, Salford City 1, and there was nothing much in this game at all. Um, Probably the poorest I've seen Grimsby play for a good little while under Artell, to be completely honest. To be fair, the game was it was drifting to a nil-nil. Um, there was not a lot in the game. Some of the passing was, well, diabolical by both sets of players. Really, there was no real rhythm. Um, it just wasn't a good game, and this is my thoughts of it from where I was. We'll start with what the team was, and let's get it up here. Here we go. Nope, there we go. We started with Jordan Wright in goal, Terrell Warren, Doug Tharm, and Harvey Rogers. Yasin Svan Dawson, McEachran, and Corey and Hume, with Green and Rose and Luca. Up front, the bench for Grimsby was Ainley, Barrington, Henry Brown, Jake Eastwood, Dara Burns, Curtis Thompson, and Geza Toure. And where do we start? The best way to start this is by telling you some stats. And to me, this is how poor the game really was. In the entire game, Town had 8 shots in the entire game to Salford's 12. Don't let that fool you, though. The better side, like I said, won. We didn't have one shot on target in the entire game. They had 5. And to be fair to Jordan Wright, he made 2 or 3 really good saves to keep Town in it. But they weren't. Salford weren't outstanding. You know what I mean? It was a very bitty game. It was a very scrappy game. It seemed like both teams were trying not to make a mistake. I mean, overall the possession stats were 52% to Salford and 47% for Grimsby. 16 touches in Salford's box for Grimsby, 28 for Salford. Goalkeeper saves proves the point. Their goalie had no saves to make, whereas Wright had to make 4. 9 corners to Salford. To me, this is what won Salford the game, is that they grinded out a result that really should have been a draw. I think if people had seen that as a draw and got a draw, I don't think anyone would have really complained. There was effort and there was endeavour. In the first half, obviously, we had a big chance by Danny Rose. Some good play between Luca, Svan Dawson, Green, and Rose. It was some real good play. Terrell Warren was involved in it as well. Trying to get the little tight angles. Crossing by Green, if I remember correctly, and Rose will be disappointed because he hit the side netting with a good shot, but really for Grimsby that's as good as it got. We didn't really look like scoring after that. We could not seem to get any patterns of play going, and neither could Salford, to be completely honest. I mean, in the first half, Salford were about as bad as we were. And it was down to a team trying not to make a mistake, more than a team trying to take the bull by the horn, so to speak. It wasn't. both teams were being cagey. And by half time, it was like, well, this is a no game, really. Because neither side really created a great deal. In the first half, Wright had one save to make, and that was pretty much it. It was all midfield play with again endeavour, but no real cutting edge. And going at half time 0-0, you're thinking about right. Yeah, poor game. Up to this point, it was a poor game. In the second half, Town came out a little bit brighter and tried to make a change early on when Dower Burns replaced Svan Dawson. But it was just a game of no real patterns, no real flow. I could even tell the referee wasn't enjoying it. He was, he was consistently inconsistent. He'd give a foul. He wouldn't give a foul for one team, then would give the exact same foul for the other team straight after. It was just a game of no flow. It was a poor game, to be completely honest. And, I have to just jump straight to their goal, which they've been putting pressure on for really a majority, about 20 minutes in the first half. And then for about 10, 12 minutes before they scored, they had the better of the play and the possession through most of the game, to be fair to them. That's why I would say if any team was going to get it, Salford were the ones. Salford were the better side. There's no escaping that. And the goal did come from a corner, which we gave away from where I was at the far end, at the far side, I believe the right hand side, and it was a ball that we would normally deal with, and I just think we just switched off. Matty Lund had come on about 10 minutes before, exactly 10 minutes before, and it was petering out to a 0-0, and then Matty just got in front of his marker and just with a header just went over Wright's head and just nestled into the corner. And again, the lads huffed and puffed out. No real pattern. Loose passes all over the place from both sides. But obviously Salford will be the happier of the two sides. They're bound to be. But if I'm completely honest, the right team did win. Grimsby weren't good today. We weren't good. Neither was Salford, to be honest. I think it was just they got the break that we didn't. I don't think we've got any injuries coming out of this, although Toure will not be available when he goes over to the Faroe Islands to play for them next week, so he won't be available for the next couple of games. But the best way to put it, guys, it was just one of those games. Again, I know I said it at Notts County, but this one is true. It was just one of those games that it was either going to be a mistake, a bit of quality, or stroke of luck. I would say it was just that Martin Lund was in the right place, and his header went over Wright's head and into the corner. That was all. It was a deft little header. Obviously, we had no chance, and in complete fairness, I won't say Salford deserved it, but they were in the way of quality of football. But the right team did win, and obviously that now puts Salford in 10th place on 53 points. Town now lying 9th on 56 after the last 2 wins. Obviously, we've been leapfrogged by Colchester that got a win today. One thing I do want to call out, I did see on a couple of social medias, one fan saying, season over, at least we're safe. Right. Season over, I just want to say this. No, it isn't. Season over. Right. And again, I want to jump to the defence of the boys. I'm going to jump in defence of Artell here. What in the world? When I read that, I thought, what are you talking about? You know, there's 9 games left. 9 games to go. And we're 2 points off the playoff places. Bearing in mind, guys, and I'm going to do an extra video on this, about our running. I'll do a video on this more in depth. But in our last 9 games, we still have to play Colchester. We still have to play Crewe. We still have to play Port Vale. And we still have to play Wimbledon. So, what is this fan talking about? At least we're safe and season over. Look, I understand that a lot of the fans can be reactionary, but that's overreactionary. Don't get me wrong, the performance today was like our second half against Notts County. It wasn't good all the way around. Salford just got the little break we didn't. Salford didn't do anything to massively hurt us. A couple of good saves, like I said, that Righty did, but they sort of came in one attack more than any length of pressure in regards to shots. But no, I think fans have to look at ourselves and go, well, we've taken this right now. And like I said, I'm one of those that is not an Artell fan. But I can't sit there and go, oh yeah, our playoff chances are gone. Look, our goal difference was always or is always going to be our problem this season, where we've got to win games to get in there. But I look at the running, and like I said, in the week I will be doing an extra video on Grimsby Town's running. And I'll go, we've got teams around us that we have to play above us. So, no, it's not over with yet. And this is why I don't sometimes do my reviews till later, so I can process things before I say something stupid like that. At the end of the day, we look at it with 9 games left to go. We're 2 points off the playoffs. Yes, the goal difference is a lot worse, but you're telling me that no Grimsby fan would have bit someone's hand off for where we are right now, knowing that, yes, we've got a realistic chance of a playoff place. But if we don't make a playoff place, is this really been a terrible season? Absolutely not. We can go into these next 9 games actually with very, very little pressure. Because statistically, however way I look at it, statistically, we shouldn't be in the... And we shouldn't. We shouldn't have been in the top half most of the season that we've been in the top half. You know, we're defensively, we've not been good defensively all year. And that loss today was our 15th defeat of the season. No one in the top 10 has a worse losing record than us this season. nobody in the top half, has a worse losing record than us this season. It's about putting the season into a bit of perspective. Yes, the game today wasn't good. No, we didn't create much. No, their keeper didn't have anything to save. To a game and a half being really, really poor. And we were poor today. No getting away from that. And against a poor Salford team, really. They weren't great, but if it had been us, they'll take the points. It keeps their playoff hopes alive, doesn't it? It keeps their playoff hopes alive with that win. So it's about just putting things into perspective and go, you wouldn't have took this position with single figures to go to be only 2 points outside the playoff places. Yes, I would. But no, the performances have to improve. Of course they do. And it's now we have a week to prepare for the next game, and we'll see how we go. Yes, disappointing. Man of the match they gave to Terrell Warren, which I 100% agree with. I think Terrell has been in the last 5 games. I think he's been one of our best players. Probably our best player, to be completely honest. Alongside Jaden Luca. Jaden didn't really get in the game today either. But Terrell's been solid for the last few games that he's played. He's looked assured. He's looked a player. He started to come to within himself. So all I'd say to fans tonight is don't get too downhearted. There's 9 games left to go. We're in an unbelievable position considering where we were last year. I think, if you'd have told me with 9 games to go we'd be in the top 10 with a minus goal difference, 2 points off a playoff place, you couldn't ask for much more. Probably one of the smallest budgets in the division as well. So, no, to me it was a game of the first time I think Grimsby didn't have a plan A or a plan B. It just was, it was poor today and the right team won. So, leave me your thoughts down below on what you thought of the game. I'll just give you the official attendance before we finish. 6,398. And to be quite honest with you, it sometimes felt like it was only 98. The fans tried for a little bit to try and get down into it. It just wasn't to be. You could hear the Salford fans. Can I just say this? The fans of Salford that did come, obviously they saw Mighty Marner go round the edge of the pitch. And I loved it. They basically said you're a Captain Birdseye, and I thought that was so creative by the Salford fans that even I had a smile and a chuckle on my face. You're just a Captain Birdseye. I thought that was absolutely. I thought that was great. But that is how poor the game was, to be honest with you. When that was my highlight of the entire game, I thought creativity. I like that. I've never heard that before. It was a new one, on me. So that was good. But leave me your comments down below on what you thought of the game today. I know I spoke to a couple of you briefly saying you'd be looking at my video when it goes live. So leave your comment down below for me on what you honestly thought. And what's your thoughts? honestly, you taking like a fan I read earlier about saying the season's over, or are you just thinking maybe a week off might do us some good? A week off where they can. I would say, I think after the win against Walsall, we've had 2 games straight after that, two tough games, and obviously we had the high of beating Walsall, and then we've sort of had a come down. So do you believe that we can get back on the horse? Do I believe that we're staying in the playoff hunt? Absolutely. We're nowhere near finished on this. And do you know what, guys? If we did finish ninth, and we did finish where we are now, we can't fault that as a season. So, to me, let's dust ourselves off and let's go again. It's Newport next week. Win that, everyone will probably think, oh yes, we're back again. So all I'd say to some fans that are getting a bit agitated, we're doing more than we should be. So let's see what the lads can do in the last 9 games. So let me know what you thought of the game. Let me know where you thought the game was lost, or what Town really could have done better. For me, we could have moved the ball better. What we did do better, before we finish, was we did use the width better today than midweek. But let me know what you think. And obviously, apart from could have scored, of course we could have done. But where do you think Town lost the game? Because I'm sure if we'd have ended up with a draw, yes, people would have been frustrated, but it still would have been a point and would have put us level with Crewe. So let me know down below your comments on the game, your thoughts if you were at the game and what you thought of it, and your thoughts on that comment about the fans saying the season's over, and like I said, where you think it went wrong today. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. And like I said, I'll be back with another video. I'm going to do 2 videos this week. The video about Grimsby Town's running, and I've got the preview, obviously, for the Newport game at the back end of the week as well. So keep your eye out for those 2 videos. Hit that bell button, that'll let you know when I upload the content. Do like, do share, do subscribe, do comment for me your honest opinions so far, and I will see you for the video in the week about the running. Until then, guys, I will see you soon. Up the Mariners, and let's not get too carried away. It's 2 losses on the bounce, but let's dust ourselves off and let's go again. I'll see you guys soon. Ta-da.